Buckenham Windmills built 1818.
So I've got 2 adults, 1 child, 1 hot drink, 3 cakes. Yes. 1850, please. I'll pop you here.
So it's a little over 200 years old. It was built by somebody locally in the village, a guy called John Burlingham. He lived in the village and he owned the other mill. So you were asking earlier on about the other mill, but I think it was a post mill, and that was just the other side of Harpham Road. There's a Methodist church, there was another mill there. So if you go back 200 to 300 years, there were 4 or 5 mills immediately in this area. So this is the only one that's still standing. So there's a few things that are special about this mill. So I know you've seen lots of other mills, so I'm going to tell you why this mill's special. So the first thing I'll tell you is if you look at this mill versus other mills you've looked at, it's probably much fatter. Right? This is the widest tower mill in the country. So we have the record, it is the widest tower mill. So there are lots that are taller. Ours is not the tallest by any, it's not even close, but it is the widest. So it's got the widest tower and the widest cap that sits on top of it because of that. Okay? There's a couple of other things that make it interesting while we go, but which I'll tell you about when we're going round. But that's the first thing. So it's special because it's the widest. So it's had lots and lots of different owners. I'll tell you about some of them as we go through. Some of them have had some interesting stories. I'll try and share those as we go around as well. But obviously you'll know kind of roughly how a windmill works, I guess. Everything goes in at the ground floor, so you take your grain in the ground floor, and then how do you get the grain up? Have you seen that before? There's a chain, there's a chain that drags it up, and you'll spot that when you go in. There's a series of trapdoors. So as the trapdoors go up, they're all bolted nice and firmly.
It doesn't matter if they're bolted, they can go up.
I don't trust that.
Okay. So that's how it gets in, and then after that everything is gravitated back down the mill. Right, so you can see, if you look on the outside of the mill, you see there's different parts, different colours of brickwork. So there's some much newer brickwork. And I'll just tell you why before we go inside. So a few years ago, 2018, so when the mill was exactly 200 years old, we were planning a big party, but we never got to that party because we found that the mill was starting to fall down. And we had to get structural engineers to come in and prop it up, and the brickwork on this side of the mill was all failing. And you can see there's sections that have been renewed. So the mill was closed for a few years, and we had it wrapped in scaffolding, and we had engineers come in and replace the brickwork to stop it falling down. So it's definitely safe now, it's not going to fall down today, and hopefully it's safe for another 200 years. Right, so what we're going to do in a minute is we're going to go inside and we're going to climb all the way up to the cap, and then we'll look at how the mill works as we come down. Is there anything you want to know before we go in? No? You can ask as many questions as you want as we're going around. If there's anything you want to know, just ask me as we're going, alright? Ready for climbing? Yeah. Right, let's go inside. go. Right, like I say, what we're going to do is we'll climb up first. There is another tour group that's coming down, so there'll be one point where we have to kind of stop and let them go past. But if you want to work your way up, what you'll find is there'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ladders, and then the last one, if you work your way up and then just stop before the last one before you go into the cap, and then I'll come and join you. I'll follow you up. Right. So if you want to make your way up, start climbing. You go facing the ladder up and down. There's lots of spiders, and there's some other things that live in the middle. But yeah, we'll see lots of cobwebs. Safely on the back.
Just go first, or do you want to go in the middle?
I remember that in
Yeah, that was like very steep, isn't it? Okay.
Right.
Ready?
When you go this one, there is a flat handle. The back, so if you put yourself up on that, it's like so much.
Ready to go in the middle? That's me.
So that is where the grain comes out. So you would attach the grain onto the chain downstairs, and then the mill will pull it up. I'll show you how when we get in the cab. Okay, so as we climb up, you'll walk across there. And if you look up, you'll see the chain goes all the way to the top. Have a look up that hole. You see? And when you get to the top, you'll be able to look all the way down as well.
I'm going to go back down. I'm never going to get down.
You will.
Whatever you want today.
God, this is so sketchy.
Okay, mate. You alright?
Grab the white handle above your head.
Jack, handle on the right there. Jack, handle on the right hand side.
On this side?
Yeah. Right, look there. That's it. Yep.
Moving about to the stone. Shoot down at each mill, but then on the top stones that comes off,
Okay.
and there's the top stone that we turn. Power.
Oh, right on the brain. Ah.
That's it.
Right, we've got 2 more ladders to go to get to the top. Would you more climbing? Right. If you want to go up this one and then just wait for me before you go up the last one.
You got it? Nice, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out the height size of Buckenham Windmill and Old Buckenham.
Anyway, before we go up any more, right, you want to have a look? You want to look down there? See the road going all the way down? Can you see down there? So we're almost at the top, we'll go to the top in a second, but you can see from here how it pulls it up. So this chain comes up to here and it wraps around that drum, and the windmill, when you engage it so it's pulling up, it wraps the chain around that drum and it will drag the grain up to this level and the level below, which is where they store the grain. And as the sack comes up, it will just push the trapdoors open and slam back down again. Right, let's go up into the cap. Now I'm going to go first because you're going to be absolutely fine. So beams are about this high.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I might be alright.
And the way the jacket is at the moment, I can tell you there's a beam exactly where you stand up.
Okay.
So I'll just give you a little bit of a reminder as you come up.
Yeah, it's good news.
Ready?
Right, shall I go first, Jamie?
Am I gonna be good? I've been on this not. Or maybe not. Maybe not get scared again.
That's good.
It's just height.
It's alright, it's only ladder, isn't it? Simple than you just done.
It's good.
That's alright, I'm behind you. Okay. Right,
Okay, I'm good.
I've got you, mate. Okay.
Stand up quickly.
Okay. That's it. You're right.
Come on.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Right. Yeah, you're good. That sound is some metal work on the outside that's clanging about in the wind.
It sounds so noisy up here, doesn't it?
It can do. Now usually when you come up here, so you'll notice that the mill hasn't got any sails on and it hasn't got a fan tail on at the moment. And I'll talk about that in a second, but usually there is always noise and movement up here. Right, so windmills it's really important that a windmill faces into the wind. That's why we have a fan tail. So just to give you your bearings up here, looking at where, if you were looking at the mill from outside, the sails would be on that end, and at the back is where the fan tail would be. Right? Now the cap itself turns, so everything, you can see the brickwork comes up to this level. If you're interested, that's 42 feet up from the ground, and then everything above our heads is just sitting on top. So it's not bolted in place, it's not fixed, and everything above our heads can move. So if you can see, it's sitting on a set of casters, and there's an iron toothed ring that goes around, and the fan tail, when it spins, it actually causes this whole cap to move to face into the wind. And the way it does that is every time the wind changes direction and you get a crosswind that comes and makes the fan tail spin, that through a series of gears comes down to a worm drive and a rack and pinion drive on the back that drags this whole cap to come round. It's about 12 tons above our head that it causes to move just by the fan tail spinning. Now we had to take the fan tail and the sails down because they were rotting, and it had to come down for safety reasons. We would love to put the fan tail back on and one day get the sails back on as well. That's what we fundraise for, is to keep restoring and keep the mill in good order, keep it public. So, you know what the fan tail does. Okay, that's about keeping us looking into the wind. Now on the sails being on the front, the stocks and sails being on the front, can you see behind me, there's this metal shaft that comes through. Yeah. Right? Then that goes all the way out to the front, and the sails are attached to that. The stocks are attached to that, and the sails are fixed to the stocks. So when the sails are turning round, that metal shaft that comes through there, the wind shaft that's called, that would be turning round. And you can see that's connected to this huge great wheel behind me, which is known as the brake wheel. And it's called the brake wheel because it has a friction brake. that you can put on and try and slow that down and stop it if it's not too windy. If it's really, really windy, it might not stop it. So that's what this wheel is for. And then you see all the teeth on here. That wheel is connected to this one. This one's called the wallower, and this is what takes the power down. So you'll notice a couple of things, right? There's no controls up here. You can't turn it on or turn it off or speed it up or slow it down through anything that's in here, and I'll explain how you do that. And the other thing is there's not a lot of health and safety in here, right? So if you look, kind of open gears here, lots of places to get your hands trapped, and it's quite a dangerous place if the sails were turning. Okay, so the way you control how much of the wind you want to take and how fast the sails are going to go is in that wind shaft. It looks like it's really solid, doesn't it? Yeah. It's not, right? So it's a heavy piece of metal, but in the middle there's a movable rod that goes through the centre of it. And what the miller would do, so that rod goes all the way out the back onto the platform that's out the back of the cap. And what would happen is the miller would come up here and they would hang weights on the back of a lever that's out there attached to that rod. And what that does is it causes the shutters on the sails to hold closed, and they balance weight against the strength of the wind. So that's how they would control how much of the wind they want to pick up and cause the sails to turn. Okay, any questions? Is it what you expected up here? Is it like other mills?
Mm.
Yeah? Anything you want to know?
I've never really done this high.
You haven't? Well, you're literally right up inside the cap now. There is only one level above us, which we're not allowed to go up to on an open day, because you can actually walk out onto the back, and I'll show you when we go outside. There's a platform you can walk out onto the back, and that's if you don't like heights, it's
Definitely not somewhere to go.
there we go. Right, shall we pick up 5 sets of stones? Not many mills have 5 sets. That's why this is the widest town. That's why they built it so big. Was because they needed 5 sets of millstones. They wanted to have a very high capacity mill. I'm going to explain all that to you as to what it is.
Mine is 37.
Wow.